So hello everyone, and I hope you're doing well, and welcome to my channel. If we're here today in this session, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to use print function in Python with different use cases, and how you can print patterns, how you can print numbers, how you can concatenate and multiply sequences of characters as well using the print function. A lot of us get confused whenever we are using print function meant to use the concatenation operator or the separator, the comma separator, or when to use the multiplication operator. So I hope this video will be useful for you, and let's get started. So mostly we use the print function whenever we want to display a simple text on the console like this. See, whatever you want to print on the console, you can just put it inside the brackets and inside the double quotes, and it will be printed. Correct? Yes. uh, but if I want to print different if I want to print a lot of variables of different types, then how can I go on printing it in the print function? How can I pass these arguments into the print function? So always remember that print is a function in Python in which you can pass multiple arguments at the same time. So here I have passed a number of arguments into this function. So now I've just passed two strings into this function with a separator, a comma. Okay. So what will be the output, do you think? Nida space AFK. If I want to print another string into uh, this, you can see I can print multiple strings at the same time. Correct? But I can do this using the plus operator as well if I'm just using the same kind of variable arguments into my print function. You can see I can print them quite similarly without the spaces in my print function. But what's the use of a separator? Using the separator, by definition in Python function, you can pass in variables of different types as well. You can pass in ints into this function using the separator. You can pass in a list into the function using the separator, and it will separate and print all the arguments you have passed into the function. So this is quite basic. You can see I can print an array into this function, pass an array into this function and print it. I can pass an integer, I can pass a string, I can pass in a dictionary as well into this, and using the separator I can print all of them separately. Okay, now you have your concatenation operator here. So using the plus sign you can concatenate two strings. What do you think will be the output? There's no space in between, but it has concatenated it. Okay, so if I just want to print a space in between, what I can do is this, and this will print a space. And what if I try to concatenate or add a string with a number? Error. So I get an error whenever I try to concatenate two variables of two different types. So always remember, whenever you use this plus sign can only concatenate variables of same type. Okay, so if I try to concatenate two numbers, I'll get the answer. Okay, because it can only concatenate variables of two different types, of only two same types. What if I try to concatenate two lists? Okay, what do you think will be the output? I'm using the same values in the list so that it will be easy for you to debug. So what can be the answer? See, it concatenates it, meaning it joins both of them. So the use of this operator is just joining two sequence of characters or adding two integers. Okay, next, I'll move on to the next one. I hope this is clear. The plus sign operator. After the plus sign operator and after the separator, the comma, we are going to see how we can multiply sequence of characters. So This is how you can multiply sequence of characters. You can use this. So I have this string Nida. If I want to print this multiple times, now mostly we use a for loop whenever we want to print a line multiple times, but we can actually not use the for loop and just use this repetition, this multiplication operator, and multiply it as many times as we want, and it will print our string multiple times. So this is really useful whenever you are trying to not use a for loop. You can just use this multiplication operator and it will make things easier for you. You can do this as well. And this can really help you in building patterns as well. So see, this will print this many times the string, then it will print the string shik this many times, 5 times. Now if I want to print a string Nida 4 times, how can I go on printing a string 4 times? But also I just don't like this that it is being printed on the same line. I want to print them on a different line. All of this I want to print Nida on a new line. How can I introduce the new line character? By definition, print function uses this uh, end. End is an argument by default in a Python function, which actually allows you to pass how do you want to end your string whenever you finish your string. So, and a separator argument, how you want to separate things. Okay, we'll see this more later, but for now we'll just see how we can print what will be the output of this. See, you can see how I have printed different strings and just multiplied strings 2 times. I can multiply the string 3 times. It's just going to print 1 2 3 3 times. So this will just repeat. It will keep on repeating. It will not multiply your uh, list. Now, as I was going to tell you more about the arguments, the end argument and the separator argument. So these are the hidden arguments to a Python function which we mostly don't use. But first let's see what's the output of this function. Okay, so the separator. As I said, the comma is a separator. So between these two variables, I have introduced a hash because I added a separator argument here where I have added a hash. Now, what if I just want to print hello all 3? Okay, hello all 3. This will introduce, every time I put a comma, it will see that I have separated the argument lists. So between each and every argument, it is going to put a hash sign. Okay. And the end here is actually by default a backslash n. By default, your end argument is always a backslash n. As you can see, it's always a backslash n. And your separator argument is always a space character, which is why you get a space always. But if you want to change this space to something else like an @ or a hash, or you don't want these the comma separated list to be introducing a space, then you can just put the two um, this, and then you have your end argument. In the end argument, it's by default passed as a new line. So but what if I just remove this new line and I don't want the end to be a new line? What will happen? See, you can't see the output right now. But if I try to print another thing just after this new line, after this hello all, what will be the output? See, it did not allow you to put a new line, which is why Nida was printed on the same line. And after this Nida, you have introduced a new line, as you can see. So if you want, if you just pass in the new line character as your end character, this is by default your another string will be on the another line. So that's it for today's lecture.